I want to pigtail on what you talked about. That you've said every adjustment does have a positive effect on the brain. Can you explain that? Because like I said, I don't know if many people understand that.
For sure. I think we have to back up, and people have to understand that when they're subluxated, when they do have that misalignment in the back, the brain is getting flooded with negative information. So when you have all that distortion from the supporting structures, things like the muscles, the tendons, the disc, everything that supports these vertebrae, and they're on every vertebrae in the spinal column. When you have a change in that, that sends negative information to the brain because it says, look at how distorted this is. So it actually causes two types of stressors. It causes a physical stressor because of all the movement. And the second thing is it actually starts to gather a lot of inflammation inside of the joints. So that actually sends chemical stress to the brain because inside of inflammation, there's chemicals in there that irritate the nervous system. That's what its job. So when you get that negative information, the brain says, holy cow, let's protect the body. So when the very first thing that we see is we have a big alteration in posture. So that's when you see people with that slunched over posture. That's how the body tries to protect itself because it puts it in a flexed position. So think about it. If I went to threaten you with a baseball bat and I went to threaten to hit you, you would do this, right? You would, contract. If I actually hit you with the baseball bat and you fell to the ground and I threatened to hit you again, you would tuck in a fetal position to protect your head and your organs and stuff, right? So the brain puts the body in a flexed position when it's under threat. And that's why you see so many people with a terrible posture. Now that we know that bad information goes up and the brain says, I need to help fix the body in some way, protect the body in some way. When we provide a chiropractic adjustment, as soon as we find that area of misalignment, we replace the negative information that was going to the brain with positive information because we remove that physical stress and we help to start eliminate that inflammation that's been building up there. When we adjust someone and we replace the negative information with positive information, then not only does posture straighten up, but we also start to decrease stress hormones. We start to decrease inflammation that's building inside the body because these are all mechanisms the body does to try to cope with stress. And when you have negative information going to the brain, that stresses the brain out. So that's how every adjustment does a positive effect on the brain. And the coolest thing about it is there's a ton of research that's coming out, especially from Dr. Heidi Havoc, that is showing just that. When we adjust the brain, she's actually showing that we increase activation of the prefrontal cortex. Now, the prefrontal cortex is a section of the brain that they call executive functioning, which means your higher centers, thinking, logical, stuff like that. That all comes from that area. And so if we know that the brain is being affected, that's why I say every time you get adjusted, you are doing a positive effect on the brain. It's a little different from one person to the next.